Baby Metal, Metal Fourth, the brand new album. We know it's coming because they told us. And yeah, I got the announcement in front of me. We've got obviously our wonderful, wonderful friends here, Neon and Benedict, who are both massive Baby Metal fans. Read Neon's wall, read Benedict's arm. Yes, it is time to talk about this
And
new
we have our
announcement.
lovely, lovely host, Howard. Don't forget about him.
I thought you got a new host
Glad
straight
to have
away.
you back.
Thank you. So, I mean, yeah, this is an announcement that came out. So Fox Day also happens to be April the 1st, just to make us really confused about whether it's genuine or not. But
I was
here in
actually
Japan,
wondering.
yeah, here in Japan it's already April the 2nd, so we can confirm it's genuine. Just before we get into this, may I just quickly remind everyone that new Babe Metal album, 2025. I think that would make me right.
In what sense? That you
I just,
said
I,
it's
I
coming.
just remember in that video where I predicted there'd be a new Babe Metal album this year, and everyone was telling me I was wrong. And I
Well,
think, I think, I
do you actually
think.
remember that video where it was suggesting the new album will be full of collabs?
Yeah, we did talk about that. We did talk
Mm-hmm,
about it.
mm-hmm.
Actually,
Call it.
yeah, I think we did talk about that as well. I said myself that I felt that songs like Metali and Ratata were probably going to be on there. And looking through, they are both on there. But there's also a lot of extra tracks. So first things first, well, let's get down to the before we get down to what's on the album. How did you guys feel about this announcement when it came out? Because I think it still was a bit of a surprise, even for me. I wasn't expecting to hear about it so early.
Well,
What was your initial feeling about hearing that
I
the
can tell
album
you
was
how I
announced?
found out about it. It was seeing that Neon released a video talking about it. That's how I found out because it was nowhere to be seen on YouTube. Then I checked the channel, there was nothing on YouTube. Then I checked the website. And then the day after, I got an email telling me that it's coming because I'm
So,
subscribed to
so
some
you clearly are
newsletter.
clearly not subscribed to my channel. Thanks for that, Benedict. Right.
Well, Neon's video was suggested first. It's
Okay.
the
Yeah, I
more
know. I
popular
know. I
one.
know. Popularity. I get it. So, how did you feel though? How did you guys feel when you found out this was happening?
I was surprised. Actually, the most surprising was when I saw the date. I was like, okay, maybe end of the year, but like it's coming soon. Like,
Yeah.
yes.
Well, the first single will be out on April the 4th. So in Japan, that's like just over 24 hours from now, at time of recording. And for you guys,
Which
obviously
one will it
that's
be? The Poppy one?
yeah. So it's the opening track on the album called "From Me to You" featuring Poppy. Now, this is probably an interesting point because okay, the biggest conversation that I've heard from people since everyone saw this track list drop is the number of features on there. And this has really split people. So I'm just going to quickly read through the track list. It's a 10-track album. Track one, From Me to You, featuring Poppy. Track two, Ratatata, Babe Metal, Electric Callboy. We've heard it. Song three is track three, and that's with Slaughter to Prevail. Song four is Con Con with Bloodywood. Song five is Kawaii or Kawaii, which is not a collaboration. Song six is Sunset Kiss with Polyphia. Song seven is My Queen with Spirit Box. Eight is Algorithm, which is not a featurette. Nine is Metali with Tom Morello. And 10 is White Flame, which is also not a featurette. So of the 10 tracks, only three of them are original Total Baby Metal songs. So this has really split people. I've heard loads of different opinions on this from people who are like, "Oh, I'm not even going to listen to it," all the way through to people who are like
What?
super excited about some of these collaborations. So, what did you guys think about this? What did you guys think when you saw like the track list? Because you're both diehard Babe Metal fans. I know that. So I'm intrigued to know how this hit you when you saw the track list.
I literally like a whirlwind of emotion for me. It was about seven different trains of thoughts all compressed into like 30 seconds. At first,
Yeah, kind of.
it kind of went from ooh to to oh to woo.
Just imagine your eye bouncing around the list like, "Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God."
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a weird one. Like new album, and I was like, yes, new album, so excited. Again, same with Benedict. I was kind of like really surprised by the date that we're getting it as soon as it was, which is a nice surprise. They should do that more often. Um, and then I obviously I got handed the at the time the leaked tracks. And then as I was recording the video, literally like my video was up for like 10 minutes and then it became official. So I was like, oh God damn it. But I was kind of looking at the list and I was kind of like you just said, I saw how many bands are featured on that, and I was kind of like, that's a lot. But then obviously, I think what's important to remember is the very real distinction between a collaboration and a featurette. Um,
That's a good point because these are very clearly labeled.
these
You
are
can see
very
which
They
clearly
ones
do
are.
distinguish.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
I've seen a lot of people, a lot of comments, and a lot of people going, "Oh, there's too many other bands on it." And I keep trying to say, "Look, these are featurettes, not collabs." I mean, the two ones that are collabs are clearly marked as collabs, which is Electric Callboy, which
And we've already heard one.
we've
Yeah.
already heard that. We already know that's a very 50-50 song. And the other one that's marked as a full-on collab is the Slaughter to Prevail song as well. So you'd
Okay.
imagine that will be quite heavy. But all the rest are featurettes. Now, obviously, Polyphia, none of them sing, so that's all going to be musical. Uh,
Yeah, true. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Tom Morello, again, we know purely musical input
We
because
already heard that one.
we've
Yeah.
already heard that one. When you're looking at Spirit Box, maybe Poppy and stuff like that, which is featuring, this could be anything from just backing vocals to like even like a 30-second little bit in the middle of a song. You could have a
Sample, yeah.
4-minute song and 20 seconds could feature Poppy for all we know. We
Can,
don't
can I
we don't
can
know.
I maybe reframe that then a little bit? Because I think as you rightly say, and I think everyone should keep this in mind, is that we do not know how much each of these artists is going to appear. And the one that we do know is a collaboration and have heard. Oh, my phone is going off. Sorry. My one song that we have heard and know is a collaboration is Ratatata, which interestingly enough, the collaboration that actually I think we most of us would agree was very nicely done. It was a very well balanced one.
Mm.
So there's no reason to be concerned about that. But what I would say, first of all, because I'm going to play devil's advocate on some of the comments I've already heard about this. But first of all, looking through that list, are there any artists featuring who you're particularly excited about or a little bit more concerned about? Yeah, which are the ones where you're like, oh, I don't know if I really think that's going to work, and which are the ones where you're like, yeah.
I'm really looking forward to the Slaughter to Prevail one. It really for me it depends how heavy they're gonna go. Obviously, we've had Baby Metal, and again, this might be like 90% of the fans are gonna be screaming through their TV or phones, going, "No, Neon, shut the fuck up!" But I'm really excited to see just how extreme they take it. Obviously,
Yes.
Baby Metal have always done their own thing. They've always had that poppy element alongside the metal
I'm
that
going to
just
open a picture of Slaughter to Prevail because I should point out, by the way, one of the reasons I'm asking you two these questions, I think everyone knows I do not follow Western metal.
yeah.
In fact, I don't really follow Western music that much anymore. So I have the only reason I've heard of Electric Callboy is because of Ratatata. The only reason I've heard of Bloodywood is because of the song they did. Although I had actually heard them before, but I didn't know it was them. And Tom Morello's the only one on that list who I could actually confidently say I would have had any reference point for if it wasn't for Babe Metal already. So I'm going to open up a picture of Slaughter to Prevail while you continue.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing just how brutal they make that. I would like one, just even if it's just the one in the whole album, like completely brutal baby metal song. I obviously this is for me. This feels like shoehorned in because they've been sort of slowly doing the Momoko screams and kind of like sprinkling those in lately, and this feels like a
I've never
Momoko
seen a
type
s-
song.
Cannot wait
I've
how
never
many
seen a
screams we will
s-
get
I've
from
never seen a
Momo.
singer before whose expression resting seems to be you dropped that on my toe. It seems to be he's got this permanent someone just dropped a heavy lead object on my toe. Look. Um, okay, I mean, it's one that I'll be honest with you. If it's gonna be if they're like a scream metal band, I'm gonna be fully honest with
Well,
you. That's obviously not one that I'm looking forward to, but I will be interested to check it out. I'll be interested to check it out because it could be really cool. They could do something awesome with that. You never know.
Yeah,
the
I
interesting
mean,
thing about that collab is that Slaughter to Prevail is like deathcore. It's like
Oh
a
God,
subgenre.
subgenre. Yeah, here
But
we go.
it's so like core. There are different types of core, metalcore and stuff. But a
Can
lot of people like
I need
deathcore.
a
It's
card
almost
that
something different. It's like the No, but like the thing about deathcore is like to make it sound as brutal and heavy as possible, even more extreme than in metal most of the time. So it's gonna be very interesting how they will fuse that with baby metal. It's kind
If
of the
if you
most
if you ever want to stop me talking, feel free to start a sentence with the thing about deathcore.
It could go the other way though as well. We don't know yet. We're talking about like how heavy baby metal will go to
yeah.
like because of
But that's
Slaughter to
like
the Male.
the song I would say I know the least how it's gonna sound. Like I
Yeah.
can imagine the least.
It could be the other way around. We could have Alex Terrible like singing really cutely alongside the girls. We don't know.
Come
Like
on,
it could
I
go the
don't
other
think
way.
so, but it
I
could be.
I am going to quickly bring up one thing. I don't want to dwell on this long, but I do want to mention it because it has come up. I got some comments from people saying they're really angry about this song, Song Free, because they feel that the inclusion of a song called Song Free is disrespectful to Yui
I
because
touched
of
yeah I
Yon
touched
Song 4.
I touched on that when I
Why
did
is
my
it
video.
disrespectful to Yui?
And my initial first thought was when I saw that song. This again going through those whirlwinds of emotions. When I saw that on
Yeah.
the track, that was the one thing for even past all the collabs. I looked at that and I was a bit like, that's very on the nose a little bit, and that can be taken. Now, I've heard different people say it. Obviously, like a lot of people saying it's Momoko's birthday because of the free thing, and it's a hint to her. But then you've got obviously song 4, which is a throwback to Yui, and calling that.
Like it's
I
not
saw
a
that,
Maybe
and I was
those
like,
specific
North Islanders
throwback to
offended.
Yui. It's just a black baby metal song. Like we
But she
don't.
did co-write it. She did co-write it, apparently. I mean, what I would
Okay.
say is my initial feeling on this was a case of, okay, it's probably, given that there are a number of people who are big UE fans and everything, it's probably a bit on the nose. I think if you're going to reference one of your previous songs, that's probably not a cool thing to do. But I think people reading into it and thinking, oh, it's super disrespectful. It's like, believe me, none of us know Yui as
Well,
well as her two former bandmates. And I'm pretty sure, unless you think they're out to offend her, I don't think they're out there deliberately. I'm sure it was done with a general sense of homage. We haven't heard it yet. So I'd just say, okay, I do think it's a little bit, maybe you shouldn't have done that. It's a little bit weird, but ultimately, let's not
to
get
me,
offended
it's just
by it.
one thing adding to the unpredictability because if you know
Yeah.
song 4, it's kind of a
Yeah.
very unpredictable song, like kind of meshes very interesting styles. So
I was
I don't
thinking
know.
more of song two, actually, but
yeah, I was.
No,
Yeah,
song 4.
again, I just thought it was very on the nose. I didn't take offense to it, though. That's the thing. I wouldn't say I'm offended by it. I know I can't talk for everybody in that thing, but I did see it, and I was a bit like, oh, it's one of
it's a little
those.
bit awkward. It's a
Yeah,
little bit like,
it's a little bit of an awkward
okay,
one,
but
but
you know, they're her ex bandmates. I'm sure it's done with love.
yeah.
All right. So anyway, on top of that, obviously we've got well, we've got a lot of ones. Polyphia, you mentioned Spirit Box. I don't know anything about Spirit Box. Maybe I'll look up a picture of them as well. Tell me about.
Another metal band, fronted female
Uh,
band as well. So we could get female vocals, clean female
oh, they look
vocals. I
like
think.
hipsters. Isn't that charming?
A kind of decisive band as well, but
Hmm.
very popular
Cool.
currently.
All right. Nice.
So yeah, I think that could be a good collab, depending on what input they have, whether or not it's musically or vocally. Could be both. Again, with it being a featurette, though, I imagine it would be more baby metal centric, and I would expect maybe just the vocalist to turn up for this,
And
if I had to guess.
and do you know what's really good, Benedict, is I feel it's really nice that about halfway through the album they've given me a song that I can go out and get chicken during, which I just
Fuck you. Oh my God.
So for anyone who doesn't know, I was at Foxfest, and Foxfest was great. It was very long, and I was hungry, and I had to pick one band to go out and get chicken during, and it was Polyphia that I went to get chicken during. And Benedict has never forgiven me for getting
I
chicken
mean,
during
I
Polyphia,
still don't
but
forgive you, but I will also say, like, the last Polyphia collab, it's not like my super one of my favorite baby metal songs. So I'm hoping this will be better.
yeah, there we go, there we go. Let's rejoice at the return of
I
Polyphia
will
to form.
stay and listen to it.
There we go. So I also think it's interesting because like track 5, which is I'm going to call it Kawaii from now on because that's what they're going for.
Mm.
It's interesting how the name seems to reference BMC. It's got that
Will
similar
it be
thing of like
another
the
like rap one?
I hope it
It'd be
was like
kind of cool.
like a super cute rap one. That'd be awesome.
Well, it could be if BMC was them going a bit rap, Kawaii could be them going like full on pop. You know, they could just do like a proper full on
Yeah.
J-pop song. And you know what? Considering like there is this album clearly is giving us a lot of flag waving about the fact it's going to be a proper heavy album. I think that you got to flex both sides of what that dichotomy that makes Babe Metal so
I mean, there will be a good
interesting.
mixture, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Polyphia, Spirit Box, they are more on the bit lighter side, I would say.
Well, less sort of like intense. I
Kind
would
of the
guess.
opposite of Slaughter to Prevail.
So yeah, actually, that's an interesting point because like the first half of the album seems. I mean, I don't know about Poppy. I'm gonna have to ask you about her because that single comes out soon as well. But Electric Callboy, that song, it might not have been super heavy, but big heavy beats and everything. Slaughter to Prevail, they look like a heavy band. Bloodywood, we know they always bring the sort of big heavy beats as well. Then you got Kawaii. Then you got Polyphia, who are more of an artsy metal band. Which is cool, by the way. That's probably the one thing I am looking forward to with them is that they'll probably add some cool instrumental stuff there. Like I did like that last song they did. I can't remember which one it was, but I really enjoyed the guitar work on that. And then Spirit Box, who seemed to be like
Could be
hipster
any
metal.
song by them. I like the guitar work on that. Ah, that's the song.
So yeah, I actually, to be honest, I think the more I look at it, this album looks like it's going to have a heavy first half and maybe a slightly more playful, artsy, well, playful in a different way second half. What do you think?
Yeah, for sure. I'm a little bit gutted though that Metal is on there. I'm kind of
Yeah.
looking. I was kind of squinting when I was looking at Electric Callboy, to be honest, as well. Just
Well, if
because.
you actually read the description they give, I thought initially they would have 12 songs on the album because it says, in
Uh,
addition to live show favorites like Metallica and Ratatata, the new album features 10 standout tracks, but it's
does
actually,
it? Wait, let me
yes,
read that again. That's ooh.
it's like after the big picture.
But we already, like I said, we already know Metali. We already know Ratatata. We're getting Poppy in what less than around about 24 hours. So
So who is
three of
Poppy?
those, yeah, three of those songs. So we're looking at what, seven new songs?
Yeah.
Mm.
Um, and well, the cool thing is, of those seven new songs, three of them are songs that are totally Babe Metal. Can I just, before we get into that, can I just ask, what can you tell me about Poppy? I know nothing about Poppy, and by the time people see this, that song is going to be soon to come out. So, who is Poppy? What is Poppy? I couldn't
Neon?
easily find information on
Uh,
it.
I think she's just a really weird person.
Oh,
That's the way I
Well,
can narrow it down.
a
interesting.
weird person.
A
Okay.
weird person.
Interesting.
She's like, like how like Lady Gaga was the freak
Yeah.
of pop. Like Poppy is like the freak of like rock a little bit, I suppose, if you
I
want to
see.
put it that way. She's
I
she's like Marmite. I think you either like her or you don't. Um, yeah.
I
That's just
love that. You really went for that description well there. All right,
I
so
don't know much about her, but I just know I heard that she went into the metal realm not too long ago, so kind of makes sense.
the law.
She's it's really hard to pin down exactly what genre she does. I mean, I'm
That
not
sounds good.
yeah, I'm not like the biggest knower of Poppy, to be honest, but from the songs I've heard, they are quite diverse, quite ranged, quite out there a little bit. So it could really suit Baby Metal. I mean, when I first saw it, again, whirlwind of emotions. My first initial reaction was Poppy, really? But then the more I kind of like settled on it, the more I'm like, you know what, it could be good. It could be something really different and a little bit wacky.
So let's try turning because we've been talking a lot about the featurettes, which is kind of hard not to, given
It's
the way
kind of
the
hard,
album
yeah.
is lined up. But so I guess really for me, the only thing that I really had against the featurettes is not really the features themselves. I mean, like I say, of most people looking at this as someone who's not really listened to Western metal as much as I think most baby metal fans do, I am probably the person who's got more to be concerned about looking at that list.
Shit.
But realistically, though, the thing that actually kind of more I'm more worried about is that for me, the reason I was excited about this album is because this is the first album where they're back to being a three-piece and they've got Momoko. And I really wanted to instead see them like properly, if you like, focus on that dynamic. I really wanted to see any sort of space in the song be filled by Momoko doing a little bit more, Moa
Yeah.
doing a little bit more, stepping up and
Screams.
really get the three of them. Well, I mean, even if it was that, I mean, obviously, I want Momoko to use her singing voice. She's got a fantastic singing voice. But even if she does
Both.
occasionally use singing, yeah, whatever it is, I just wanted to hear them use that dynamic of the power of having three of them. And I feel like the minute they've got a third member and we're back to that dynamic, it's like we've gone from not enough because we only had the two members to now we've got three members and now we're throwing a load of people in other songs. So if I'm honest with you,
Mm.
it's not really the collaborations that bother me because it's like, oh, why are there too many collaborations? It's a case of I'm really worried that you're not going to, in the same way that Moa, I don't think got enough to do during that duet phase of the career. I'm concerned that now Momoko's not going to. I mean, even song three, it's a reference to a Black Babe Metal song. So I would like that to be a Black Babe Metal song. Yeah, like I mean, even if it turns out to be just Momoko, Moa, and the singer from Sort to Prevail, it's still like I'd rather it just be Momoko and Moa. So in a way, that's my concern is that I hope there's going to be room for us to see the three piece that we've been waiting for all this time.
It does feel, yeah, I agree. I completely agree with that. It does feel like a bit of a weird choice to go direction to go in because that's what I think a lot of people wanted. I was when they announced that they got the three piece back, I think a lot of people kind of like didn't really count the other one so much because we knew that Momoko came in late. We knew that most of that album was probably already produced, done, and sorted by the time Momoko joined. So a lot of people were like, yeah, a lot of people are excited that this is going to be the first time to see Momoko in full glory and maybe to go back to the original Baby Metal and Metal Resistance kind of like era and have a more of an emphasis on that trifecta force that a lot of people really loved. So yeah, in a kind of way, I totally agree. I kind of the featurettes a little bit. I hope that doesn't take away from that. It's not to say that I'm not
Yeah.
excited for the featurettes as well, but yeah,
It is
just
important to like distinguish those
distinguish.
two
Yeah,
things. We're not slagging off the featurettes here. We're just saying that at the same time we've been dying for the three piece Babe Metal to come back, and it
Yeah.
feels a little bit
And I think
concerning.
there's also another aspect regarding that whole featurette thing that is the live aspect because usually when
Oh
baby
shit,
metal
yeah.
like goes on tour they will not have all these people with on stage with them. So yeah, it's always a bit of a, I don't know. I would prefer if they play a feature to have both bands or rather play something original, but they only have three new original or like
I
baby metal songs.
yeah. I mean,
I will admit that when I saw them at Foxfest, they did two of my favorite Baby Metal songs, Love 'Em or Hate 'Em, Metali and Papaya. And obviously both of them felt a little bit strange because both of those songs had little portions where they were dancing and
Yeah,
we were listening
exactly.
to a video recording of someone else performing. And it was like,
I mean, I think
okay,
it
but
works for songs like Metally. It's just the instrumentation. You don't really
yeah.
need Tom Morello on stage. But
That's
like
true.
when
That is
people are
true.
singing, it's kind of awkward because then, yeah, baby
So
metal
you're
is just
right.
dancing.
How do you tour this album?
Yeah.
again, I'm just going to go and say that again, we don't know the extent of the featurettes. It could be barely 20
True.
seconds, 30
Yeah.
seconds of the song that they're in. So
That would
Yeah.
be kind of funny if all the Babe Metal fans were cheering to find out all of the featurettes were just like tiny little samples, and all the other people who come here to hear their favorite bands were like, "You disrespected Spirit Box, you disrespected Bloody Wood," or something like that. It
you know
would
what?
be
You know
kind
what?
of like, oh,
Do you know what's really weird? Obviously, like we've been fans of Baby Metal a long time. We've had the privilege to see a lot of albums come out, and I think this is going back to what Howard was saying. I think this is the first time I've seen a lot of people in the comments go, "There's so many featurettes." Not be excited, but maybe not as excited as normally, if that makes sense.
it reminds me a little bit that there was a little bit of that chatter when Metal Galaxy came out, because of course up to that point there
Hmm.
hadn't really been any strict featurettes. So people were like, "Oh, this featurettes, what's that going to be like? What's it going to be like?" And I feel like this is almost like an extension of that. But as you say, this is an unavoidable, quintessential part of the album. I mean, the album
Yeah.
is a Baby Metal and Friends album. Even if those
Yes.
featurettes are tiny, they very clearly put it front and
You
center.
know,
This is a
maybe I can take some of that fear away from you because like
yay.
which collaboration, featurette, whatever, including Baby Metal and any other group, maybe let's leave out the end in case of Neon. By the way, read what we posted on Discord.
We'll talk about
Um,
that in a minute.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, they were all great. Like there's no real duds. So I personally, as a baby metal fan, I'm super excited to hear all these collabs and maybe even to get turned on to new artists, which for example, I am now a Bloodywood fan, and I wouldn't have known about it without Bakehouse, their collab song.
I
So
I
maybe I will be a Poppy fan in the future. We will know.
I totally agree with that, and that's one of the reasons why I pushed back a lot against because, and again, I'm coming from this perspective of someone who's probably less likely to enjoy a lot of these collaborations than
Yeah.
maybe a lot of the people coming from a normal metal space. But I was really sort of put off by how people really pushed back against this. Because I'm like, it could be great, enjoy it and find out, and you could find new things and be excited about them. But I just feel the one thing that undercuts that is the fact that as a baby metal fan, it's like you kind of want to say, yeah, but do that
Oh,
in a year or two. Can we just get a three-piece, Momoko and Sue album? Can we just get a three-piece Babe Metal album? Come on, let's do it. We know you've been waiting for it. I almost feel like in a way, all of these collaborations, there's a certain degree, as collaborations always are, of like this is a good way to bring in new fans and keep you relevant. Because if you just release another three-piece Babe Metal album again, they may be concerned that it won't chart as well, it won't do as well, it won't. So, leaning into these collaborations allows them to remain relevant. And again, I'm not saying that as a derogatory thing. I'm just saying that could be a fair
Yeah,
explanation.
maybe
Because
it's still like the phase where they want to really include or like, yeah, make Momo a essential part of the group, and then the next album will be a standard three-piece baby metal album. We maybe.
I just read the
well,
comment.
because
I just read the comment in the Discord, and my expectations for that
Are you
song now
excited, Neon?
I've just hit rock fucking bottom.
well,
But
okay,
then,
okay, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on.
it was recovered slightly by Howard's and Trident at the end. So there's
Okay,
hope.
let's
Also,
just
it's
quickly
just
explain. So we had a background conversation. I'm just going to quickly explain what we said because we were talking about I was asking, well, we were asking what's that song Kawaii going to be like, and Benedict sort of like just in the Discord chat sent me a thing saying Kawaii is apparently described as a wild rap metal song composed by Dai from Pale Dusk, who also worked on Lil Uzi Vert's song The End featuring Baby Metal, which of course I know most people dislike. To be honest, I more dislike it because I found out about Lil Uzi Vert and I was like, wow, why would you work with a person like him? But I should also say Pale Dusk, pretty cool band, but most of all, worked on songs like Spoopy by Trident and also the song Twinkle with Trident. He's worked on some of Trident's best songs. He is really very good in the right situation, and I don't think his contribution to the end was why the end turned out being bad,
yeah.
if I'm honest with
It's not a Lil Uzi song, so I
Yeah.
think you can sleep well, Neon.
you.
But still,
Just throw that.
it's gonna give me nightmares.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately though, like when you're looking through this album, I think it is for me. It's a mixed feeling. It is a mixed feeling of both being interested about well, what am I going to find on this. This could be some interesting collaborations, but there is a part of me which is just like I really wanted that three-piece Babe Metal album. I really did want that, and I feel a little bit like it's a shame. We're going to find out when
Yeah.
the song with Poppy comes out from Me to You. That comes out on the 4th. Right now here in Japan, it is the it's the nearly the 3rd. It's like 10 o'clock at night. It's interesting. I don't know. They haven't said what time it's coming out, so I'm assuming it literally will release at midnight on the 4th in Japan time. So that's what I'm expecting, but we'll find out. Might not, might not, might not. So I'm kind of excited about that. But you hardcore Babe Metal fans, do you feel hardcore Babe Metal fans? Do you feel like this is an exciting new chapter in the future of the band you love, or does this make you think, oh, I wonder what the future will be?
Obviously, I trust baby metal, so this will be great.
But remember, your beloved Moa is going to have a little less to do on a lot of these songs. She was already kind of in the background. She can have even less to do.
Maybe we will see. Who knows? Maybe she will get
Okay.
more parts.
In
Here's a,
Moa,
No,
you trust.
we
here's a
don't know yet.
question for you though. Are you less excited because of the amount of collabs or the featurettes? Like let's say they don't put Polyphia's name on one of the tracks and they don't mention the Spirit Box or whatever or on those songs, and there was only like the Tom Morello, the Electric Callboy, and the Poppy one on the album. Would that change your opinion, your initial opinion of it, just looking at that
You mean
track rate?
just more straight baby metal songs?
Yeah. If they didn't tell us every person that was on, featuring on there, would that have changed your
You
opinion of
know,
it slightly?
there's one aspect that I'm wondering about is like how consistent of an album will it be? Because there's so many different artists and everyone is bringing like their own style to it. Like how, I mean, Baby Metal obviously is known for having a lot of different styles, but especially their last album, I felt it really nailed down a very specific vibe and state on that through all the tracks.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering how they will do it for this with all these different artists. So it might be more of a, I don't know, bag of surprises,
It
just a colorful mixture. We will, I don't
in
know.
in a strange way, actually, Benedict just made me more excited about this album because by doing that compare, because the thing is, my like I should point out again, I really enjoyed the other one, but my biggest criticism about it is that I felt it didn't really, it was a little bit too much all of one sound, and whereas like Babe Metal for me, there was some exceptions, but whereas Babe Metal for me is all about like each track is like a wow, what's going to happen next kind of thing. I didn't get that vibe from the other one. It had some great songs, but it just didn't have that sort of flair and variation. So in a way, I mean, I was going to answer your question, Neon, by saying that to be honest, seeing the collabs, I can't help it. It does make me less excited because I'm excited for Baby Metal, and I can't help. If these were all Japanese bands, again, I know this is really terrible to say. If these were all Japanese bands, I'd
But
probably
they
have a
will
higher
still
hope.
get a lot
But
of Baby
there's a
Metal.
reason why I haven't listened to Western music. I've done videos about it, and it's not so much my thing. So
Mm.
yeah, I could be really excited. I could enjoy this, but I'm a little bit less excited by seeing other collabs. But the way Benedict puts it, yeah, this could end up being an album which is a little bit crazy, a little bit unhinged. Maybe it's going left, right, and all over the place. And that actually could make it a really amazing album. That could actually be the reason why this turns out to be brilliant.
Do we think this could
Mhm.
be an album made of individual songs rather than an album that is going to be like a coherent listen through the entire thing? Do we know, or is it too early to tell yet?
It's
Just
got to
based.
start as the latter and try to be made into the former. You can't have a bunch of
Mm.
I mean, I know there's a lot of featurettes, but I'm sure that they're going to be slightly colored by the sound of each collaborator. So I'm sure they're trying to take a lot of various ideas and put them together in an album. But that doesn't have to be a bad thing.
Just realize that when you do your like Baby Metal review of this album, you're gonna have to listen to like more Western artists in this new Baby Metal
Yeah,
album than like, you
yeah,
have done in years.
yeah, yeah. And I'm always honest in these ones, so I could like court myself. I could get myself a lot of new fans, or I could get myself a lot of hate. Something's going to happen. All right. Here's a big question. In fact, this is the question. This is the crunch time question. This is the one that you
Ooh.
cannot avoid. All right. Are you ready? Are you ready for the biggest question of all?
Go on.
Maybe.
Is Metal Fourth by Baby Metal?
Oh,
Is Metal Fourth by Baby Metal? Is it the fourth or fifth Baby Metal
it's the
album?
fifth album.
It's the
Damn it.
fifth.
It's
I
the
knew.
fifth album. I'm not having
It
this
is the
shit at
fifth
the other
album.
one. They can
It's
market
the
the
fifth
other
album.
one as not an album
I
all
was
they fucking want.
I was
This is
exactly
the
thinking the
fifth
same, like Metal
album.
Fourth, but like wait, it's album 5.
Oh,
But
well,
it's
it's not one of
fourth.
you. Yeah, yeah.
Fourth.
I don't give a
But
shit how much they tried to
I
make it the fourth album. It's not flying in
but I
my
like
book.
how they're releasing the debut single, well, the debut single After Knowing on April 4th, 4/4. And they're saying in the advertising it's the fourth album, and they're really pushing the number four. It's like, dude, you're not erasing the other one. All right, it's not happening. All right, that album existed.
But
Live with
it's
it.
not with a U. It's fourth.
Yeah, no, but they have actually been saying it. I seem to remember actually I saw that they announced it as this is the fourth
The
Baby Metal
fourth,
album,
fourth
Oh,
and they're
album.
really?
releasing the single
Yeah.
on 4/4, April 4th.
Yeah,
And
well,
why
well,
are
they
they
they,
changing
they
it?
always came out like like many years ago when the other one came out, and they said this is a concept album. They actually used the words of
Yeah,
this
but it's
is.
still an album of
It's
their
like,
Well, why would you
discography.
tell them that? Like we all consider it albums. At least I do. I consider it an album.
can I just read? Sorry. All right. So to a gentleman called Marty, no offense, love you, dude, whoever you are, but I just wanted to say I read your comment under the announcement, and the fact that you wrote, "What Spirit Box? Oh my fucking God, I'm so happy to be born right now." Did you literally just pop out and see this? You came out, the
Spirit
doctor
box,
delivered you,
woo!
and then someone showed you the tweet, and you went, "Spirit Box,
It's
fuck
first
yeah!"
word.
I prefer the darker alternative that he's been depressed his whole entire life and only now has felt true happiness.
Well, you said I'm so happy to be born right now. Oh yeah, born again. This is like a born again baby metal fan, maybe.
You
Bless
see,
you,
you see, you
bless you,
see, you
Martin.
see. The thing is he's saying Spirit Box and he's so happy, but Spirit Box individually never made him happy beforehand. So it's only in conjunction with Baby Metal that now he's happy.
Bro. All right, so Marty,
But like
contact
it's
me.
but like
I'll
you're right,
DM you his private address. You can go over there and sort him out. Yeah.
they
Man,
talk so weirdly about the last album, like the other one.
oh, it's
Yeah.
not just an album.
Like
Yeah,
this is the group's first original album since their third release, Metal Galaxy. That's just not correct,
That's just
right?
bullshit. Yeah, it's just not. I'm sorry. So no, just no.
And follows their 2023 concept album, but they somehow don't say it's an original,
Look,
which
if I
I don't get.
if I walk up to you and I punch you in the face and say, "No, I stroked you. That's how I stroke." It's like that doesn't make it a stroke. I punched you in the face. It's
You're
like you
saying
can't just
Baby Metal is
release.
gaslighting us.
Yeah, you can't release a bunch of songs, put it in as like special edition versions, all of that. It's a several tracks created by the same artist in a studio. It's like it's a fucking album, all right? You can call it what you want. It's an album.
Yes.
Bullshit. This is album number 5, Metal Fourth.
Yeah,
Get your head out
fifth.
your
Let's
ass.
just call it Metal Fifth.
yeah. I don't care how much I don't care how much they try to alien resurrection it and pretend like it doesn't exist. It still fucking counts.
That's a pretty obscure reference, but I love it.
Like song 3, Metal Fourth, they somehow mess up their numbers.
Yeah, I was about to say no. It's like I'm not accepting it. This is the 5th Baby
This
Metal
is the
album.
5th Baby Metal.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
deal
not
with it.
having
Yes,
this whole
we
fucking
totally
fourth
agree on that.
nonsense.
Deal
Lucky.
with it.
Yeah.
Deal with it. Yeah. Can I just point out, by the way, if you this is one thing I really love. If you go to Wikipedia and you scroll down to where it shows their timeline, it has a little thing which is the black line for studio albums, and it shows that they've already had 4 studio albums, even according to Wikipedia. And everyone knows Wikipedia never makes mistakes. It even says under
Must be
discography,
correct.
it puts the other one as an album. It's like you can say what you want, everyone knows the truth. The other one-
Everybody knows.
everyone knows. Yeah, yes.
I'm wondering how far they're going to push that market in. I imagine that will.
But yeah, like I said before, I can imagine it's gonna be even more an album than the new one.
Yeah, it's actually probably not untrue. Yeah, it's probably more of a
Yeah.
coherent album in its own right. But
Yeah.
oh shit, yeah.
We got more Baby Metal on the album, and that's not considered an album than the new one.
Yeah.
that we get.
Sorry, this can't be an album. There's too much baby metal on it. So just out of interest, by the way, one thing I know people are going to bring this up, so I'll just mention 2 other things came along with the announcement. The first was that they've signed to Capitol Records. I think that can sometimes, I've often said this in the past, it can sometimes be overblown. Obviously, certain record companies are better than others, but the truth is that it all depends on how they deal with the artists, who their people are, who their team is, and how they deal with that particular individual style of artist. So I wouldn't get overly typed in either direction. It might be a good thing, it might be a bad thing. Truth is a lot of that information is behind the scenes anyway, so we'll never really know. All I'd say is that it shows they're obviously excited about a new phase because they've signed a contract. You don't sign a contract unless you're something excited about. So hopefully it's all a good thing. And the other thing that they announced, I'll quickly mention this as well, is that they've announced a slew of tours.
Yeah.
They are going all in on the
Baby
freaking
Metal's
tours.
Dynamic World Tour.
So sorry, Neon, you were going to say something.
Oh no, I was just going to say, mentioning the Capital thing. I was kind of excited for that, but then I kind of been reading up on it, and Cobra is still following over and going to Capitol Records as well as the executive producer, I believe. So it does feel like a move where Cobra is still in control and now not under a Muse, but now with another label. But it still feels very much like he is behind everything that kind of goes on behind the scenes. So I wonder to what extent that's going to continue.
I'm never going to buy that thing that Koba is kind of like this mystery man who controls everything. I think that's a convenient narrative. I'm sure he
We
controls
just don't
a lot,
know.
but yeah, it's like I don't think he's got the hand on everyone's wallet. So I don't think he's the one who controls all the money. I just don't believe this thing that he has like an iron grip over everything.
I just thought it was very prominent how the Capitol Records announcement, like they very clearly mentioned executive producer Cobra is in charge.
Yeah,
And
because
then I was just kind of looking at that.
part of
That's
their
a name
marketing.
people know and
That's-
want to
that's-
hear.
Maybe.
It's part of their marketing. It's the whole way that like Babe Metal's presented. And I would actually say it's kind of convenient to have a fall guy, to have like a face and go, well, if anything you don't like, oh, blame Cobra. I think that's kind of like and it might be true. I just think that there's so often a very clear separation between what people are told is going on and what's actually going on with these things. This isn't the conspiracy theory. This is just the way these companies work. You know, I don't think we know how much control he really has. I'm sure he's got some, but this idea that he controls everything, I just don't buy it. And the free version of Zoom bit us in the arse there. But, sorry, free.
Hello.
Well, we're not playing a free version of Zoom. You screwed us. Yeah, but anyway, we got the point across. And I think ultimately, though, yeah, I think we're all kind of excited about the forthcoming Metal Fourth. See what I did there?
The fifth coming, yes.
The fifth coming, yeah.
The forthcoming fifth album, Metal Fourth. With the new album, new single released on 4/4.
With song 3 on it.
Yeah, with song 3. My brain. So anyway, all right. So final thoughts, so guys. How are you feeling? What's your vibe going into this? You're going to be excited for the new album, I'm guessing. How are you feeling?
Always excited. Always excited. Again, that whirlwind of emotions when I first did it. But again, it doesn't take away from the excitement. It was just one of those like, okay, there's a lot of collabs on here, but once you get past that whole, okay, there's lots of featurettes, then yeah, the excitement's still there. I'm really excited about it. I mean, touching on what we said before, maybe the more I think about it, the more we've discussed it, maybe I'm thinking I would have liked to see again more of that trio dynamic. But again, without hearing the album yet, I simply don't know. So it's just speculation at this point. Yeah. So yeah, excited. I'm excited.
I think that's true.
Yeah.
The unknown fact is a big part of it.
Yeah.
And
like I said before, I mean, Kingslayer, Ratatata, Bakehouse, what else? Leave It All Behind. What else did we have at the end? Okay, maybe not so much. That's kind of the standout. Every song else, every collab besides that, freaking amazing. So I'm looking forward to everything very much.
All right.
How might not be as consistent of an album, so probably won't like kick the other one off the throne for favorite album of mine. But I think it's still gonna be very, very cool, very fun, very exciting.
Here's a question for you. How long do you reckon it will be until they release like a special edition CD, which is like just them with like every artist they've ever collaborated with?
Oh yeah, there'll be a greatest hits, and then there'll be a greatest hits the collabs.
They will just release a Japanese version with one extra song.
Yes. All right, guys. I think it's great. As we mentioned, there is a lot of tour information. There's no point in us going through all that. Just remember, they'll probably be touring somewhere in the world nearer to you than they are right now. So go check that out as well. It's all on their announcement. We're going to call it quits on this one because Zoom hates us. And until we hopefully see you very soon.
We're not worthy.
No, we are worthy. Fuck Zoom at this point. It just cut us off. And until we hopefully see you very soon in Japan for the next one of these, remember to keep your ears to the east. We good?
I think so. You need to press the button.
Ah, the button.
Can you press the button and still maintain the pose though? That's the question.
Yes, I can.